For millennia, places have served as the patrons of authority, riches, and work, serving as symbols of the time period's culture and society. Persian palaces were built in Egypt and Babylon, the sites of the earliest known palaces. Each building was constructed with expensive materials and exquisite labor that withstood the test of time, even though the symmetry and patterns varied throughout time. Since the globe has moved away from the monarchy system, the majority of the palaces, which were formerly homes for the royal family, have been converted into museums or historical landmarks. Each palace on the list performs a different function, from Buckingham Palace in London, which continues to be the Queen of England's official and royal residence, to the Forbidden City complex in Beijing, which has grown to be the city's top tourist destination. Let's examine the world's most significant and luxurious palaces. Make sure to stay tuned until the end. 10. Buckingham Palace. The most impressive and well-known palace in the world, Buckingham Palace has 775 rooms, the largest private park in London that spans 40 acres of surrounding land in an area of 828,000 square feet. Originally constructed in 1703 as a townhouse for the Duke of Buckingham, this royal mansion was later bought by King George III in 1761 for his wife, Queen Charlotte, and became known as the Queen's House. But as the structure evolved in the early 19th century, 3 wings and a central courtyard were added, transforming it from a townhouse into a palace. Buckingham Palace, which still serves as the official residence of the British monarchy today, was established as the country's royal residence when Queen Victoria came to power in 1837. 9. Palace of Veneria. Duke Charles Emmanuel II ordered the construction of the Palace of Veneria in 1675 to serve as his base of operations while on hunting expeditions outside of Turin, Italy. Although the palace's name is derived from the Latin term venatio regia, which means royal hunt, it served a different function as a royal dwelling for the House of Savoy towards the turn of the 18th century. It weathered a beating towards the end of the 18th century, fell into disrepair, and then served as an Italian military bastion until the Ministry of Culture acquired it in 1978. Prior to its public unveiling in 2007, the 861,000 square foot Palace of Veneria underwent the greatest restoration undertaking in European history. 8. The Abdeen Palace. This medieval fortress, which is now a museum in downtown Cairo, was given its name in honor of the Albanian commander and Egyptian politician Abidin Bey. Following Bey's death, construction of the Abdeen Palace, which was planned by French architect Léon Rousseau, began on top of his home. Despite being relatively new in comparison to other substantial palaces, this imposing building is regarded as one of the most opulent and distinguished due to the abundance of gilded clocks, decorations, and paintings in its halls. The Abdeen Palace occupies 1.1 million square feet in total, while the full complex, which includes the garden Sultan Fuad I, constructed in 1921, is more than 2 million square feet. 7. Quirinale Palace. The Palazzo de Quirinale, or Quirinale Palace in English, is named after the ancient Roman deity Quirinus, who was once worshipped on the hill where it currently stands. It is one of the 3 official residences of the President of Italy, and during the course of its history, 4 different Italian kings, 12 presidents, and an amazing 30 popes have all lived there. The Quirinale Palace was carefully chosen to be Napoleon's royal residence during the Napoleonic Wars, but this never happened because he was defeated in 1814. This palace is 1.19 million square feet in size, but it also has a huge garden that is over 430,000 square feet. 6. The Royal Palace of Madrid. The Royal Palace of Madrid continues to serve as the official residence of the Spanish royal family, in contrast to many of the palaces in this list. Felipe VI, the reigning monarch of Spain, and his family have chosen to reside in the Palace of Zarzuela, a considerably more modest building than this 1.45 million square foot one, despite the fact that they are officially entitled to do so. It was initially constructed between the years 860 and 880 and served for decades as a defensive castle before John II, King of Castile and Leon, began using it as a royal home in the early 15th century. But a fire in 1734 would destroy it, necessitating another entirely new building that would take nearly 20 years to complete. 5. Forbidden City. The Forbidden City's palace complex, which is the largest palace complex in the world at over 7.75 million square feet, only takes up 1.61 million of that space in its actual main structure. This enormous structure housed numerous emperors, their families, and the royal courts from the Ming Dynasty, to the end of the Qing dynasty while serving as China's imperial palace from 1420 to 1912. The Forbidden City was the political center of the Chinese government for just under 500 years, but it has been under the administration of the Palace Museum since 1925, with exhibitions largely of artifacts from previous ruling dynasties. The annual number of visitors to this historically significant World Heritage Site has increased to almost 16 million, and it continues to be one of China's most important cultural landmarks. 4. Apostolic Palace. From this official residence in Vatican City, a 1.74 million square foot building known as the Apostolic Palace, the Pope governs the Catholic Church. The Papal Palace, often known as the Palace of the Vatican, or simply the Pope's Palace, has a variety of functions in addition to hosting the head of the Catholic Church. Along with the offices of the Catholic Church and the Holy See, it also houses a number of chapels, the famed Vatican Library, and the private, official, and religious papal apartments. However, the Sistine Chapel, which features vibrant frescoes painted by renowned Renaissance artists like Michelangelo and Sandro Botticelli, may be the most well-known room in the Apostolic Palace. 3. The Louvre Palace. For 3 centuries, the kings of France resided in this 2.15 million square foot structure before it was transformed into the renowned art museum that it is today. Prior to his departure for the Third Crusade in 1190, King Philip II ordered the Louvre Palace to be built as a military fortress during the medieval era. By 1202, construction was complete, but improvements were made throughout the Middle Ages. In the middle of the 13th century, King Louis IX changed the palace's function to royal treasury, and the Valois dynasty erected a courtroom and prison. Prior to Francis I ordering a thorough makeover of the Louvre's appearance in the 14th century, Charles V did, however, transform it into an official royal home. Much of the palace was destroyed and rebuilt to create a Renaissance-style palace between his and Henry II's reigns. Since then, numerous more augmentations have been made to the Louvre Palace and its surroundings, expanding their overall size to nearly 4.3 million square feet. 2. Hofburg Palace. The Austrian city of Vienna's Hofburg Palace was initially built in the 13th century, and it continued to grow through the ensuing centuries to become the 2.5 million square foot fortress it is today. Since its construction, the structure has served as the official seat of government, and with each refurbishment, new amenities have been added. The Austrian National Theater, also known as the Burgtheater, the Spanish Writing School, an imperial chapel, a treasury, an imperial library, and other important additions to the Hofburg Palace are listed here. 1. Palace of the Parliament. The Senate and Chamber of Deputies of the Romanian Parliament are housed in this enormous structure, which is also the world's largest administrative structure that's open to the public. The Palace of the Parliament occupies a space of more than 3.5 million square feet, is 12 stories tall, and conceals an additional 8 floors below ground. The National Museum of Contemporary Art, the Museum of Totalitarianism and Socialist Realism, and the Museum of the Palace are all housed in this palace, which also serves as a key center for government activities. Neuschwanstein Palace, Omaid Bowen Palace, and Chateau de Chambord are a few further noteworthy palaces. Before becoming popular and important heritage monuments, the majority of the palaces on the list were royal homes. These once for the emperor structures attract a steady stream of visitors each year, bringing in millions of dollars. Let's know your favorite palace to visit in the comment section. And if you enjoyed watching this video, then please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more such amazing videos.